Everyone knows Arsenal's 49-game unbeaten run. The Invincibles, 2003-04, Premier League, legendary. But here's the thing, 49 games, that's not even close to the record, not even in the top 5. There's a club that went 104 games without losing. 104. Let me say that again. 104 games. And most people have never even heard of them. Let's go through every longest unbeaten run by a club. From different leagues, different eras, different continents. And trust me, this list is gonna blow your mind. Before we start, quick rules. We're only counting league matches, domestic league, not cups, not Champions League, just the league. Why? Because that's the real test of consistency. Week in, week out. Same competition. Also, some of these runs span multiple seasons. That's allowed, as long as it's the same competition. Alright, let's start with the one that shocked me the most. 1986 to 1989. Romania, Steaua Bucharest. 104 league games. Unbeaten, 104 games. Let that sink in. Arsenal's 49, that's less than half. Steaua went nearly 3 full seasons without losing a league match. 3 years, 104 games, 103 wins, 1 draw. Wait, only 1 draw? Yeah, they didn't just avoid losing. They barely even drew. This is the Romanian Liga Miwar, 1980s, Ceausescu era, communist Romania. Steaua was the army club, backed by the state. They had resources other clubs didn't, but still, 104 games. To put this in perspective, that's almost 3 Premier League seasons combined. Imagine Arsenal going unbeaten from 2003 all the way to 2006. That's what Steaua did. The run started September 1986. It ended September 1989. 3 years later, Dinamo Bucharest finally beat them 1-0. By then, Steaua had won 3 consecutive league titles, dominated Romanian football, won the European Cup in 1986. This is the undisputed world record for unbeaten run in a domestic league. And yet, most football fans don't know about it. Why? Because Romanian football isn't the Premier League. It's not La Liga. It's not even close. But the numbers don't lie. 104 games. No losses. That's the standard. Now, Steaua is the peak, the Everest. But there are other mountains. Some in Europe, some in South America. Some you've definitely heard of. Let's break them down. 2016 to 2017, Scotland, Celtic. 69 games unbeaten in the Scottish Premiership. Nice. Wait, 69 games. That's still less than Steaua, but it's longer than Arsenal. Celtic's run lasted from May 2016 to December 2017. Brendan Rodgers' Celtic absolutely dominated Scottish football. They went the entire 2016-17 season unbeaten. 38 games, not a single loss. Then they kept going into the next season. Another 31 games, until December 2017. Hearts beat them 4-0, ended the streak at 69. But here's where the debate starts. Celtic in Scotland. Is that the same as Arsenal in the Premier League? Scottish Premiership has Celtic, Rangers, and, well, not much else at that level. Celtic had more resources, better players. They should dominate. Does that make 69 games less impressive than 49? Arsenal faced Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool every season, all at their peak. Celtic faced Hearts, Kilmarnock, Hamilton. Fair comparison? You decide. But the numbers are the numbers. 69 games, unbeaten. That's the second longest domestic league unbeaten run in European history. 1991 to 1993. Italy, AC Milan, 58 games unbeaten in Serie A. This one hits different. Why? Because Serie A in the 90s was the hardest league in the world. This wasn't Celtic dominating a weak league. This was Milan surviving a war zone. Arrigo Sacchi's Milan. Then, Fabio Capello's Milan, Van Basten, Gullit, Ricard, Baresi, Maldini, Costa Curta. Legends, all of them. Milan went 58 Serie A games without losing. From May 1991 to March 1993, they faced Juventus, Inter, Napoli with Maradona, Sampdoria, Lazio. Every week was a battle. Every opponent had world-class defenders. Catenaccio, Italian defending, the best in history. And Milan still didn't lose for 58 games. They won the Scudetto in 1992. Then again in 1993. The run ended when Parma beat them 1-0. But by then, Milan had already cemented their legacy. 58 games. Serie A, 1990s. Many people say this is the most impressive unbeaten run ever. Not the longest, but the hardest. Because of the league, because of the era, because of the opponents. Context matters. 2003 to 2004. England. Arsenal. 49 games unbeaten in the Premier League. You already know this one. The Invincibles. Wenger's masterpiece. Henry. Bergkamp. Vieira. Pires. They went the entire 2003-04 season without losing. 38 games, then they kept going. Into 2004-05, another 11 games, until Manchester Manchester United beat them 2-0 at Old Trafford. October 2004 ended at 49. This is the most famous unbeaten run. Why? Because it's the Premier League, the most watched league in the world. Because it's recent. Modern football. HD footage. Millions watched it live. Because Arsenal became cultural. The Invincibles. The name itself is iconic. But is 49 games in the Premier League more impressive than 69 in Scotland? Than 58 in 90s Serie A? That's the debate. Arsenal faced top opposition. Every week. Physical. Intense. But Celtic went 20 games longer. Milan did it in a harder league. Who's right? There's no clear answer. That's why we're having this conversation. Let's rapid fire through some others. Bayern Munich, Germany, 2012 to 2014. 53 games unbeaten in the Bundesliga. Pep Guardiola's Bayern, Jupp Heynckes before that, dominated Germany, won everything. 53 games. Impressive, but not top 3. FC Porto, Portugal, 2010 to 2011. 56 games unbeaten in the Primeira Liga. André Villas-Boas, first season as manager, went unbeaten at home for even longer, but we're counting all league games. 56. Very strong. Portuguese league at the time had quality. Juventus, Italy, 2011 to 2012. 43 games unbeaten to start their post-Calciopoli comeback. Antonio Conte's Juve rebuilt the club, went unbeaten their first season back on top. 43 games. Statement made. Benfica, Portugal, 1976 to 1978, 56 games unbeaten. Yes, same as Porto, different era. Benfica in the 70s was stacked. European quality, 56 games shows consistency. Now, outside Europe, South America, Boca Juniors, Argentina, 1924, 40 games unbeaten. This is OLD, almost 100 years ago, but it counted then. It counts now. Boca dominated early Argentine football. 40 games, no losses. Context, football was different. Fewer games per season, but relative to the era, this was massive. Peñarol, Uruguay, 1929, 24 games unbeaten. Uruguayan League, late 1940s. Peñarol was a powerhouse, still is. 44 games. South American quality. São Paulo, Brazil, 2005 to 2006. 42 games unbeaten in Brasileirão. Modern era. Rogério Ceni in goal. Muricy Ramalho as manager. They went from November 2005 to August 2006 without losing. Won the Brasileirão. Dominated Brazil. 42 games. Impressive in a league as chaotic as Brazil. Quick hits from the rest of the world. ASEC Mimosas. Ivory Coast, 1989 to 1994. 108 games unbeaten. Wait, more than Steaua? Yes. But, context, this is Ivory Coast. Not Europe, not South America. Different level of competition. ASEC dominated domestically, but international recognition? Minimal. Still, 108 games is 108 games. Al Ahly, Egypt. Multiple runs. African football's biggest club. They've had several long unbeaten runs. 60-plus games multiple times. Egyptian League. They dominate it. Auckland City, New Zealand. Multiple seasons unbeaten. New Zealand League is not competitive. Auckland wins almost every year. Unbeaten runs of 30, 40, 50 games. Does it count? Technically, yes. Is it impressive? Depends how you measure. So here's the debate. Who had the best unbeaten run? Steaua Bucharest, 104 games. The longest, the record, but Romanian League, 1980s, less competitive. AC Milan, 58 games. Serie A, 1990s, the hardest league ever, shorter than Steaua, but tougher opposition. Celtic, 69 games. Modern era, but Scottish League, long streak, easier competition. Arsenal, 49 games. Premier League, most famous, shortest of the top ones, but most watched, most remembered. So which matters more? Pure numbers? Then Steaua wins. Quality of opposition? Then Milan wins. Modern relevance? Then Arsenal wins. There's no one answer. That's what makes this beautiful. Different eras, different leagues, different contexts. Every run has its own story. So, which unbeaten run do you think is most impressive? Steaua's 104, the number that seems impossible. Milan's 58, the run through the toughest league ever. Arsenal's 49, the one everyone remembers. Or someone else? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if you learned something new, if you didn't know Steaua went 104 games unbeaten, save this video. You're going to need this for debates. Next up, we're looking at the longest winning streaks, not unbeaten. Actual consecutive wins, because going unbeaten is one thing. Winning every single game, that's a different beast entirely. See you there.